Hi there, in this video we're going to do a quick Blender texturing tutorial. So here we are in our starting scene here, and I also have a paint file open here. We're going to keep it super simple here. I want to make a little like blocky McBlockerton type of character here. So I'm going to get rid of the camera, I'm going to get rid of the light, and I'm going to select my cube here. I'm going to go into tab to edit mode. I'm going to do Control R to do a loop cut. Oops, there we go, loop cut, and I'm going to right click to put it in the middle. I'm going to press the 1 key to go into front facing mode. I'm going to hold down Z to go into wireframe so that way I get all of the faces. I'm going to do B to box select, which grabs all of the faces, or all of the vertices that I can see. I'm going to delete with the delete key, and I'm going to do faces here. I'm going to do the A key to select everything. I'm going to grab it with G, and then I'm going to move it up on the Z axis and move it up here. So now we have half of a block. So I'm going to come over here to our modifiers, and I'm going to select a mirror modifier. And if the clipping is not selected, then if you were to grab these pieces and move them away from each other, you can see that they are keeping themselves separate. But if you toggle clipping on, then when you try to drag them, it will keep them together. So we're going to keep that together right now. So there we have our head. So there's our head. Next, I want to create a body. So I want to create a cube down here. I'm going to grab it with Z and move it up along the Z axis. I want to scale it along the X axis here and pull it in a little bit. And I want to scale it along the Y-axis just a little bit here. So there we have our body. I think this might be just a little bit low, so we'll grab all of this and we'll move it up just a little bit more down here. I also want to make an arm. So I want to grab this and slide it over, but it won't let me slide it because we have the clipping turned on over here. So I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to grab it over here. We're going to scale it down. And then we'll scale it along the Z-axis to bring it up just a little bit. I'm going to grab it along the Z-axis, and then grab it along the X-axis and move it over. That might be just a little bit low, so we'll grab it and go up with the Z just a little bit, and there are our arms. Lastly, we want a leg, so I might just cheat with this one here and do Control D to duplicate it. Press the 1 key so I can get the front-facing view. Grab it along the X-axis, and these legs looks like they'll be just enough to fit. So I will grab it along the Z-axis and pull it down. Just like that, we have our little character. So I want to do a loop cut along the legs so that way I can create some feet. So we'll do a loop cut down there. We'll do right-click to grab it down there. I can grab it with Z and move it down there. And then I will select this face vertice down here, and I will extrude it this way. And now we have our little shoes here. Blocky seems to have too square of a head for me, so I might do Control B and see how that looks. How does that look? That might be... Nah, we'll go back to the blocky side of things. But it does look to be just a little bit high. So I'll grab the head with G, and then go down with Z. So there we go. There's our very rudimentary little character here. Now I want to work on texturing Blocky. So let's go to our paint file here. And I want Blocky to have a suit that he wears. I want him to wear shoes, and then I want him to have a face. So let's go with a face. That might be just a little too big there. There we go. A face, shoes, pants, and a suit. So let's scale this down over here so that way we know what we're working with here. For the face, I want it to be right here on the front side of things. And as a reminder, we only need to do half of it since the other half is going to be mirrored right over there. So let's jump back over to paint. I want to do like the yellow smiley face type of face. So I'm going to pick yellow up here. I'm going to draw a square, and I'm going to make this look like this. That might be okay. I'm going to fill this guy in here, and I want to draw a little square for an eyeball. And I want to draw a little smiley face over here, but only half of the smiling face. So let's do something like that. He's going to look a little silly, but that's okay. We're going to fill this little eyeball in here. So that is going to be our face, and that could be all the sides of the face too. Let's say we may eventually want some hair in there too. Let's go with some brown hair. So I just want to draw a little bit of a square here and make that brown. Let's see, we did the face, so let's do the shoes. I'm thinking I want the suit to be bluish, so let's do the shoes as black. So we can either use the eye as the shoes, but I want to come down here and make a square with this guy, fill it in, and I think that might be good enough for the shoe. So he'll just have solid black shoes, but if we want to add a little bit of texture to it, we can do like a gray box around the shoe, and maybe he gets a little bit of some shoelaces in here too. So let's do something like this. So he has some shoelaces here. There we go, something like that. For the suit, let's do like a bluish suit, like a dark blue. So we'll do like a solid blue box here, and we'll fill this entire thing in. And let's say we want, let's say a bit of a lighter blue here for like the pleat that goes across the chest there. So we'll go something like that. And we'll come in this way a little bit with it. Shrink that down. We have to give him a button. Let's see, the button would be somewhere over here, I think. So let's give him a little bit of a button. There. And for the shirt, let's say he wants a solid red shirt, and maybe the tie an obnoxious pink, because that looks good as a suit, apparently. So we'll do something like this. And we get the idea there. So there's our tie and our little suit jacket there. And then let's say for the pants, we'll keep that same color. I think it was this one. And maybe we just add a little bit of texture along for like a pleat or something like that. There we go. So let's go ahead and save this here. We'll do a new folder for Blocky. We'll save it in here. So this will be Blocky. I'm going to save this file path right up here, and I'll press save. So now if I come on over to Blender here, I want to add that texture that we just made to Blocky. So let's go to our materials down here. We're going to change this base texture to an image texture. And we're going to do open. And we're going to go to the file location that we just had for Blocky. So we're going to throw Blocky in there. And you can see the texture just kind of got applied all willy-nilly over there. So we're going to go up here to the UV editing right up here. And now we have Blocky over here. And we have our texture sheet over here. But our texture appears to be missing over here on Blocky. So we'll hold down the Z key. And we'll go down to Material Preview. And we can see it all down here. So let's start with our face right up here. So we can select different faces around here, and we can see it showing up on the material over here. So if we were to highlight everything, we can see everything showing up over here. So let's grab our little head over here, and we'll drag it this way. And let's see if we scale it along the y-axis. Looks like it got inverted, so we'll just rotate it 90. That wasn't quite right, so we'll rotate it another 90. There we go. There's something similar to what we're looking for. So let's grab it a little bit, and we'll try to scale it just a little bit to try to shrink it down to get it to fit just like that. Good job. That's a happy block. And then we can also grab these other textures on the other side of it, or the other faces. And if we want him to have just like a solid head of yellow, we can grab all of these faces and just sort of just drag them inside of the yellow area. and scale it down so that way they can fit all nice in here. You can have overlapping ones if you want to, all up in there. So now he has a nice happy little head. So let's go with the chest here. I think I may have messed up a little bit on the chest. That's okay, I will fix that here in just a moment. So let's go with the arm instead. So the arm, everything is highlighted. I can just press the L key to select the object that my mouse is currently hovering on, and we can grab all of this and scale it down, and just kind of tuck it away into the blue section down there. But let's say we want a little bit of a hand down there. So we can either grab all of these faces and try to tuck them into the yellow just a little bit over there. And let's see. So we have the yellow showing up there, so we can either rotate it. Oops, rotate X, -90. There we go, something like that. And you can either have it show up that way, or if you just want to do a loop cut and drag it down there, then you can select everything down here. And we have faces all over the place over here, so we can do the U key and do unwrap, and then it'll throw all of the faces together in the similar shape, and we want all of this to be yellow, so we could just kind of stash it over there. And now he has little hands. So let's make sure all these other ones are in the blue. So grab that. There we go. So now he has arms, and he has hands down there. And then for the feet, we'll do the same thing. We'll just grab this circle area right through here, and we'll make sure all of that is in the blue over here. But let's say we want a pleat along this side here. So we'll grab that particular face, and then we'll scale this up. Looks like we have the pleat going way at the top up there. So let's rotate this 90, and looks like we got the pleat, but it's on the wrong side. So we'll rotate it 180. There we go, the pleat is on that side. So we'll scale it to the X, and then scale it to the Y, and get it to fit a little bit like that. And now he has a nice little pleat on his very fancy pants. So lastly, we have our little feet down here. We can hold down Alt and left Shift, and we can click in a circle on the axis that you're clicking on. And then we can hold down Shift and select the other faces that he has there. We can do U to unwrap them all together, and we can stash them all inside of this black area right here. Let's say we want the shoelaces on this top one. That is an ugly looking cube right here, so we can go ahead and do U and unwrap, and it fills the entire screen. So we'll just scale this down a little bit here, and we're going to put it right on top for our little shoes down there. Let's see if we can scale it just a little bit more there. Looks like we have them going the wrong way, so we can just rotate this 90 degrees. Looks like we're going the wrong way again, so rotate 180. There we go. Scale X to shrink it, scale Y to go up and down. And now we have some nice little shoes with shoelaces on them. So now let's figure out what went wrong with this middle section here. Looks like if we were to come down to our modifiers here, the clipping was turned off. So let's go that way. We have like two full different cubes there. So let's separate them a little bit. We'll turn clipping on, and then we'll have them go smash together just a little bit, just like, whoop, just like that. There we go. So now if we try to separate them, they're all one object together. But since this suit is part of one major piece, now might be the time to select everything and turn this modifier on, so that way everything is just applied to the mirror state. Oops, you can't, you'll have to leave edit mode to do that, so we can press tab and get out of it, and press apply. And now everything is all nice and together, and you can see we duplicated the number of faces that we have on there. So let's go ahead and look at our suit here. So let's actually highlight the entire object with L, and we'll click A to highlight all the faces over here. We'll scale it down and tuck it away into this blue area, so that way he is one big blob of blue. We'll select these two faces that we want. It looks like they're overlapping each other a little bit, which is going to result in some weird behavior over there. So we'll do U to unwrap, and now it's separated those two faces and put them next to each other. And you can see the texture over there. We can grab this and we can scale it. And then looks like it's upside down, so we'll do rotate 180. There we go. Now he's nice and happy in his little suit. So there you go. We have made our Mr. Blocky character. So I think that's all that I want to cover in this video. Oh, if you do want to have a little bit of hair for Mr. Blocky, you can just add a loop cut right up here. You can select all these faces right up here. And you can see how all these faces are a mess. You can either keep all those faces as a mess and then just shrink them down in there. Or if you would like them to be nice and pretty, you can press U and unwrap and scale it down and then drag him up right up there. So now he is Mr. Blocky. So there you go. Good luck.